Hello and welcome to the latest live photography stream. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I just need to see if this is working. Let me know if you can see that on the screen, please. I think it should work. We should have the side chat on the screen as well. Hope you can read that as well. It's took a while to get set up. I'm not great with OBS. I hope the quality is a little bit better this week as well. So I'll say hi to the people in the chat. Hi Damien. Hi Gimbal. Hi Pete's Retro Collectibles. Hi Richard. Hi Georgina. Hi Gimbal. I'm not sure if all the chat is showing. But I'll just have to see how this goes, and I'll perfect it for next time. But I'm hoping the quality is a lot better than last week. Right, so I'll start showing you some items that I've got to list. Got a range of different things this week. I'm going to start off with this, which is just a Wii game. This one hasn't got the inlay. In fact, it was disc only, but I had a spare case, so the disc is okay. It's a little bit, there's a few marks on there, but it does work. So it's the case of taking a photo. Take one of the disc as well, and also with the case just as it is, with no inlay on as well, because I've got to try and make it clear that they're not going to be getting an inlay with the disc. So that's one. I've got this quite nice item here. This looks like some sort of desk tidy. What I'll do, I'll just go and get my cloth to clean it with. As I said last week, this is a stream that people can just nip in and out of. They don't have to stay, but I'm going to try and chat as much as I can throughout. I'll pop into the live chat in a minute and see what people are chatting about. Hope everybody's day is going well so far. Let me know what you think of the camera angle this time. I've gone for more of a sort of top-down approach. It would be better if it was sort of still at a bigger angle, I think, but doing that means that you basically get my head in the picture, so I don't think that's good either. So Yeah, the reason why the live didn't work that I scheduled, because I set it up in StreamYard, but then I realised that I was using OBS and I couldn't figure out how to get the stream that was scheduled into OBS. I'm sure there is a way, but I couldn't figure it out, and I only realised this about a couple of minutes before it was due to go live, so I didn't really have a chance to ask anybody or anything like that. I'll take a photo from above and one at the base as well. This is an item I'll probably end up sticking on Etsy as well. In fact, probably want to take a photo of the measurements on this one. So what would you call that? Would you call that a desk tidy? Is there some special word for it? It's got gold metal on it as well that's stuck to it. I don't know what that is. It's a nice vintage little piece. I'll just say hello to the chat again. Let me see if I can pull up the YouTube chat, because chat. I'll say some hellos. Where did we get to before? Hi, Nigel. And I think you could play so well. I can actually play the guitar. It's been a few years, but I want to get back into it at some point. Yeah, the music. Last week I had my normal introduction on, and I got a copyright strike because it played the whole song instead of just that little sample I used. So I decided to go for some free YouTube music this time. So hi Claire, thanks for joining. Hi Chris Tyler. This is like take arts watching Tony draw. Yeah, I tried to go for an angle that wouldn't get my head in it. It's quite difficult, really. Hi Gary, hi Ian. Hi Pete, hi Haggis Lever. Cancellation at 4 AM in the morning. God. I don't know why the camera flickers like that sometimes. I think it's just the glare off the white background, I think, that does it. It doesn't seem to do it once you put an item on the thing and it's got something to focus to. I hope the sound's okay. Let me know if it's not. So I am sitting a little bit away from the microphone at the moment. Who else is in? Olivia Ian is in. Hiya. Just lay flat stuff on its back, more Derek, and you'll be golden. Yeah, it's the problem I've got is that when I actually take the photo, I'm taking it from like a 45-degree angle, where I'm standing in front of the photography area, which ideally that's the angle that I would want for the camera to be in, but I can't really do that without it getting in the way of me standing there. Pen holder, letter rack, index card holder. Well, these are all worth writing down. Let me find a bit of paper to write this down on. Letter rack, index card holder, pen holder. But they're all sort of stuff that I can put in the description, isn't it? So it's PS2 games holder. I'm not sure if PS2 was invented when this was made. Very small letter rack, envelope rack. Inlays probably brass. Our Pete's listings will pop in and out, no problem. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how to know whether it's brass or not, but I don't know what I'll say. I'll think about that when I actually come to list it. In a similar item, I've got this, which is same sort of thing, a letter rack, I guess. These all probably came from the same job lot at auction, I'm assuming. They're quite dusty because they've been on the death pile for quite a number of years. This is all stuff that I don't usually deal in, so it looks a little bit more presentable now. So is everybody listing today? What's everybody else up to? Anything exciting? Now, also, what I wanted to do is when I take a photo of this item, I want to have one where I'm standing well back, where there's a lot of the background in the photo, because Etsy seems to zoom in on the thumbnail for some reason. So I need to have two thumbnails, one for eBay, which is cropped nicely, and then one for Etsy, which has a bit of a border there where I can position the thumbnail a bit better. So all these vintage type items will be going on Etsy. So I'll take it various angles. So this has got a maker's mark on it as well. I'll take a zoomed in photo of that. It's upside down. Take one from above as well, I guess. Maybe one at the side so you can see the gap. Right, and I suppose I'm going to need to measure it as well. Right, so that's another thing done. One last vintage item I'll just do when I've got it out, which is this little dish. It's quite a nice looking dish, but unfortunately, as you can see here, it's got some little cracks in it, but you can't see them from the top at all. So I'm just going to list it, put it on cheap. Might get a tenner for that, maybe, I don't know. Poole, England. And again, I need to do a zoomed out version for Etsy. There you go, so that's another item. Oh, measurements. Always forget measurements. So how are people's sales? Are the sales still continuing to be good? Mine are pretty good. I've certainly noticed a little bit of a dip in sales, but not too bad. Have a look at the chat. Wooden boxy slotty thing. Yeah, that's probably what I'd describe it as well. Packaging post. Oh, packing post, then garden, one beer, then list. That sounds good. There's a lovely day here as well. Stay at home today, prepping laptop, getting it set to work proper until the unit tomorrow morning. Yeah, I watched your second part of your storage sort of setup. It was good. Lonnie Shed, yeah. Lonnie's my actual favourite YouTuber. Hi, Kez. He's got decking down, 12 by 12, so going for a 10 by 8 shed. Is that for your eBay items, or is that for like gardening and stuff? Poole has its followers, quite pricey, new in shops now even. Alright, so it might be worth sticking on then, even though with that damage. Lower sales on 8th of May. Yeah, I seem to be getting consistent sales, but they are starting to slow down. Luckily, I've still got some quite high value items, so I get one of them and it boosts my income for the day, which is good. It does worry me when I'm relying on one or two big items to bring the money in. This all looks a bit serious. It's not that serious. Hi Raid, anyway. Don't think I said hello before. Nick K, mine have been good this month so far. Yesterday and today have been slow. Yeah. eBay. Do you have much success on eBay? Because I was looking at eBay, and I thought it could be a possibility of importing all my 1,000 listings from eBay. But to do that, I think I need to pay the £150, I think it is. And I'm just not sure if I'd ever get any sales, to be honest with you. I've not listed since the 8th of May. Yeah, I think listing every day is important. So yeah, I'm just going through stuff out my death piles basically to get listed. Right, so I'm just going to go and get a few things off the death piles and I'll bring them back, and I'll be back in a few moments. I'll put you on my little interval screen. Does anybody know who he is? He's obviously a wrestler. WWE 2004. He's got a camel on his shorts. So yeah. Let me know who who he is. I'll pop him down there. Yeah, I thought I'd test this DVD player because I found the 12-volt cable I need for it. I've also got this one as well, which I think is the same sort of thing. So it's always worth trying to do all these things in one go if you can. Yeah, this looks like, well, there's no screens in here, but I do know I've got another couple of screens on my death pile as well. So maybe I've got two DVD players here. These are the ones you put on headrests in the car. You just strap them in. The straps are in there. There's some sort of battery pack here. Let me find. Right, I just need to go and get my 12-volt adapter thing that I plug in, and then I can plug this direct into the socket in my office rather than having to test it in the car. So I'll be back shortly. Hey guys, iron sheik. Let me write that down. Figure iron. I wonder if it's got any value then. Probably not. I'm sure I did a wrestling bundle not that long ago, so I've probably got rid of all my other wrestler figures. So yeah, so this is what I use to test my 12 volt items. So I can plug this into the mains and I plug the 12 volt socket into there. So just like that, and then that's live now. So hopefully this will work. Oh, and it doesn't fit the socket, so it's not the right one. That is annoying. Oh well. So unless there's one in here I can test it with. There's another. This actually looks brand new. But the screens aren't in there, so screens aren't in there, then the only screens I've got are second-hand screens, so I might as well open this. Right, let's see if this one fits. This doesn't fit either. Well, that's no good. Oh dear. Right, let me see if I'll go and get the other screen. Because if I can, maybe the other screens will fit, and I'll be able to at least get one of them sorted. I don't think these are going to fit anyway because they're identical. They're a different brand, but no, the sockets are just the same. Oh well. Back on the death pile these go then. All of it has to go back. Oh, hang on. Yeah, this thing, I tried this last week. This power supply, but I don't think this works. It's supposed to be a battery unit for it. So that didn't seem to work at all. There isn't a power supply in here. Right, let's just put all this back because it's an absolute waste of time. Yes, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one now either. I've now got 4 screens and wires that don't fit any of them. This is how the death piles happen. I don't understand why this doesn't actually fit. Must be I think the inner hole of the socket is just slightly too small. Oh well. Right. Well, at least I'll get that wrestler listed or photographed. I'll put these on my shelf in my death pile, which are waiting for parts. with this. This steering wheel has been on my death path for a long time as well. Let me see if... Actually, I can't test it because it requires a power supply at the back as well. So all I can really do is sell it as is. Actually, I wonder if I can connect this up to the PC, because I know a lot of Xbox stuff you can connect to the computer, test it that way. So I might try and do that. Let me get it clean first. It's amazing how horrible, dirty things can get when they're sitting around for years in a room. I'm sure it wasn't this dirty when I bought it. I think the best bet with this, like I say, is to test it on the computer. So I reckon it'll work. I don't think I've got an Xbox 360 anymore to test this with. It won't work on the Xbox Ones. So. No idea where I would have bought this from, probably a car boot sale. It's a genuine official wheel though. I'm assuming it has some sort of value. I'll nip into the chat in a second after I've done this. So I use pink stuff at the moment. I've also used elbow grease as well. Does anybody else have any favourite cleaning products they like to clean their items with? This has got something rattling around as well in it. Hopefully it's just a little bit of plastic. I'll get it photoed anyway. See if that... Actually, a stick. This is the battery compartment thing. I'll stick that with it. Nice to stay. So I've got to take the back off this as well to get this little bit of plastic out, which is annoying. It takes the security screws. Let's see if I've got the screwdriver to hand. Now I adjusted the brightness, the contrast on the stream, on the video stream, to see if I could get the colour back in the picture, because it looked quite washed out on the monitor. I did have a screwdriver that fits these, but I don't think this one. I think that one fits. Right. I'll put that down here and I'll have to sort that out. I need to test it anyway. So, what else we got? We've got the wrestler. Give him a bit of a spray. Got some funky shoes on, look at that. Like jester shoes. I wouldn't say that to him if he was here though, he looked like he'd beat me up. Right. Actually, before I take a photo of him, what I really need to do is go and see if I've got any others that are lying around that I can easily put with him, but I'm pretty sure I sold them all off. Now, I've only got that one, but what I did find is this, which is quite a nice Samsung digital picture frame. That should do quite well. These always sell really well. And if it's a Samsung, then that might be worth £15, £20. But I haven't got the power supply. And it looks like it's like a USB connection on it. Like a micro USB connection for the power. Oh no, there's power here. There's different power here. There's power at the back there. I'll have to go and consult the death piles for a compatible adapter. These always do well. People like these. I've got quite a few of them, but it's always finding the adapters for them that I struggle with. That's quite nice. Let me take a photo of this wrist and I'll get him out of the way. Maybe if I should put him in some sort of fancy pose. You can just stand up. You can stand up with his arms up like that. Quite good though, his hands are all articulated as well. We're going to take a zoom in of his feet, where it says his who made him. It's doing that without getting the rest of the thing on. Oh, here you go. WWE and also Jack Specific. I'm going to get my hand in the photo. And I'll do a photo of him laying flat as well. And his measurements as well. So my tape measure. He's a 7-inch character. Right, so that's done. Let me go and check, see if I've got the power supply for that. I'll just check the. I'll check the chat before I go. Is that Stone Cold? No, it was Iron Sheik, wasn't that? I'll give it a Google later on. Yeah, somebody did say that in the chat. I've got it written down. I have no idea. I used to watch a bit of wrestling back in the day. It used to come on. It was either before the A-Team or after the A-Team in the 90s when it was repeated. And I used to watch the wrestling then. but that was a long, long time ago. Right, I'll be back shortly. I'm just going to go and try and find a power cable for this digital picture frame. Okay, so I'm back. I found the power supply. So that's it working there. I need to put a memory card in there, and I'm pretty sure I've got one here that came from the auctions out of this one. But I just hope that there's nothing suspect on this card. Plug it in and have a look. Card doesn't seem to go in the slot properly. There's always something, isn't there? Right, here you go. Right. Yeah, there is some things on there. Right, okay, so that works. Right, so that's just going to be a case of taking photos of that now. This one, I wonder whether this power supply will work on this one as well. Yes, it does. So I can test this one as well at the same time. We've got some sort of loose connection. Play. Right. That works with that one. I don't know whether it will work. So I did find this power supply as well. Let me try put that one with that one. This one's not powerful enough. Right, so I can list Samsung anywhere. I should take it off. This is probably worth, I'll have a look, see how much this is worth in a second. I do usually find they're around 15 20 mark, depending on the model. I've sold unknown brands before now for £14, so I'm expecting a Samsung to be the higher end of the prices. Take a photo of the different inputs it takes as well. And what I should really do is take a picture of it turned on as well, which is what I should have done before I packaged this wire in. Right. Again. That'll do. I'm certainly starting to see me listing the lower value items now, which is a little bit of a shame. The higher value items are I'm starting to run out of them. Let's have a look how much this Samsung is worth. eBay. It's an SPF Samsung SPF 75H. Somebody's got it on there for £19. 20. It looks like it's worth £20 plus postage, which is good. Quite pleased with that. It's a shame I haven't got a power cable that works for this one. Got so many power cables knocking about, but they often aren't the right voltage. This one is 7 volts. Yeah, that's too small anyway. I'll stick that there. What's this? What voltage is this? That's 9 volt, that might work. Yeah, let's see if this works. Yeah, this works. Yep, that works. So I need to take a Oh, let's clean it first because it's a bit dirty. Get a photo taken of it. Isn't this turning on now? Right. Okay. Here's a photo. This looks like a brand new power cable as well, which is good. So many power cables, all different sizes and voltages, and they all get tangled up. This is the problem. Right, that's another one done. I'm going to go and put these in my storage, I think, just out the way. Photo frames F9. We've got 20 people watching. Thanks for everybody for joining. Let me know what you think of these streams. I got a fairly positive reception last week for it, so that's why I'm doing it again. Trying to make it fairly interesting, but it's quite difficult when you're just taking photos of old people's tat. That's hopefully it's interesting. Chris Tyler says he needs to get looking at auctions. Is that online auctions as in eBay, or is that online auction houses? Because I looked at bidding on an auction house on Sunday, and the prices were going crazy. And I'm not that desperate for stock at the moment, so I know a lot of people are looking to make lesser margins, but I've still got quite a lot of stuff to get listed, so I'm not really there yet. but I'm sure once all this runs out, I'm going to have to look at doing it. It says he's listing Thomas Set Scale Electrics and Polly Pocket. Yeah, quite a high value Polly Pocket, I think, is it not? Yeah, I'm in Scotland, but I'm in central Scotland, a little bit away from the Scottish borders. I have no idea about auctions around there. I'm sure there will be them. 70% off auction stuff and house clearance. Yeah, Pete says it's cool, it encourages him to be productive. He's listed 3 things. Oh, great. Well, if it helps, then I'll carry on doing them. I'll go and get something else anyway out the death pile. Here you go, there's a nice steering wheel. This is a Logitech driving force. This was actually my own. I know a few people know that I used to work at Rockstar Games on GTA, but when I left there, I worked for the company that makes racing car games, Slightly Mad Studios, for a little while. We released Project Cars 2. It was just before I went full-time reselling, and I bought this to use there, but I'm not going to need it really now, so I'm just going to sell it. At the time, these were quite expensive. I think they still are. They work on PC and PS3, I think, but it's mainly for the PC now. The good thing about these is the wheels turn all the way, so you can actually turn the vehicle. Some of them lock like that. These ones you can actually properly steer. That's why they go for higher value. It's got the pedals, as you can see with it. So I don't need to test this because it was in use not that long ago, before I moved my office around. So I know it works and stuff, so I'll be listing this straight away. So it's got everything with it. It's got the power supply. I actually bought this on eBay, so it's going back onto eBay. It's been sitting under my desk for a while, so it's quite dusty, and then it went on the death pile. got the gear stick as well. There. Right. So last week I messed up the video a bit because I had a copyright strike on it. So I edited the video and removed the copyright music, but whilst I did that, YouTube removed all the speaking from the live stream, so it's a completely silent stream now. I've left it on there, but it's not particularly a great stream anymore. But there's no way to go back on it once you've submitted to edit it, and YouTube go ahead and take out the copyright violation. There's no way of getting back the original stream, so it's sort of lost forever now. Right. Need to get rid of this wrestler as well. Put him in CA1. Let's write that down. I'll get rid of these things as well. Right. Right, so now I'm taking a photo of this steering wheel. Important to get all the model numbers down and things like that. Yeah, that looks good. I'll go and put that in my storage. Okay guys, I'm just going to go and get a quick coffee. I'm going to make myself a quick coffee and I'll be back. And also bring back some other items off the death pile. Back soon guys. Okay, so I found a couple more items. I actually found the pedals that go with that Microsoft steering wheel. So I'm going to clean that and take a photo. Whether I sell these separately, I don't know, because I haven't got the power supply. And I have looked the power supply up before, and it was too expensive, so I might just part this out. So I can test the steering wheel without pedals, but I think I need the power supply to use the pedals. What I'll do, just in case I do decide to put them together, I'll take a photo of them both together, so I've got one. But I don't think I'm going to, but it saves me getting them out again and messing about. Right, let's go and put. Well, I've got to test this, so I'll put this down here. Okay, so this is the next item I'm going to photograph. Is this slush maker? I actually sold one without the box fairly recently. So this should be a fairly easy list, because I'm assuming it works. Not a lot to this, because you freeze the bowl, and then it's just a case of the item spinning. I think it's got yeah. You put ice in the slush. Put the and it just makes a slush in 20 minutes. Okay. So really what I want to do is see if it gets cold, I think. Get this off without breaking it though. Not sure how this comes off. obviously comes off there. Oh, there you go. That's okay. Right, so how does this actually freeze then? It can't. There's no cold. There's no way of. It doesn't actually do any freezing. So as long as it spins. All right. So one way you put it on, and then you keep that going, and that will keep it mixing with the ice. And then the dispense one is when you turn it the other way, and presumably it comes out this hatch. Yeah, and you just turn it like that. Right, okay, that's pretty simple. So that's fine. That can be sold as working. There it needs a bit of a clean inside. Does this? I think this comes off. Does it? No. A bit of a spray. This should be quite popular now the summer's coming. And that is it's just a cheapo thing though. But it's in its box, so it should fetch a half decent value. Got to take this out so I can clean this, because as you can see it's a bit grimy inside. Let's get my cloth in there. For Mr. Frosty for grown-ups, yeah. Need to fill it with salt and ice to get it fold. I have one. Yeah, that's what it says on the box. Fill the bucket with ice. And I'll give this a little bit of a clean at the front. So I'm guessing I might get £25 for this, maybe. I need to look at what they're selling for. I can't remember how much I got for the last one. Take a photo of the back, I suppose, as well. And the model number, which will be on the base. Need to look a little bit nicer, actually. here. Right, and I'll take a picture of it with the box as well, because obviously the box adds to the value. Hide this wire away from the box. There you go. Box could do it with a bit of a wipe. I'll take that photo again because I don't know how much that dust came up in the photo. It's always best to make sure these items are presented really well, because some of these, you know, it's like a food preparation type thing. People want it nice and clean. Right, so let's go and put this on my in my storage. Okay, so let me check on the chat. Oh, hi Tori, thanks for coming in. Actually, I think the only person here with moderator functions is my brother. I'm not sure if he's still in or not. Just to take any pressure off him, do you mind if I make some people a moderator in the chat? Tori, would you be okay with that? And how about Gimbal? And anyone else wants it? I haven't seen any spammers or anything, but I'll make a few people a moderator. I'll make Damien a moderator as well. Oh, Richard's still here as well. Why the easier. Moderator. activate a moderator as well. That should be enough, I think, for now. So I've been doing a few more lives recently, so right. I'll find some more stuff. I'm sure there's plenty in the death piles to get. This is quite a nice item here. This is a vintage toasty maker. Fortunately, it comes with no plug. So I'll just see if I've got a plug I can put on it. I usually have spare ones knocking about, because what I do, if something I've got is broken, I cut the plug off so I can use it elsewhere. Actually, oh, here's one. Yeah, so I just basically do that. Cut the plug off. Obviously, it has the wire in it, but I can deal with that now. I can take the wire off. See if I can find my. This is something I have to do regularly, is replace plugs and stuff. See if I can find my screwdriver. No, it's not the right type. This one should do. Fit through there, I don't need that. I'll see if it actually works as well. It's quite a nice vintage piece though, so it should do quite well off this. And when I sell these vintage things, and I have put a new plug on, it's always worth just mentioning it in the listing, because it all adds to the advert that you've you've tested it, you've put a new plug on, you've made it safe, that sort of thing. Where's that screw gone? Great, I've lost the screw. Right, never mind. Oh, it's sticking into the plug. Right. Which I might have to cut this. This wire doesn't actually look that great. Actually, this might be a case of selling it as parts. In one of these ones. It's just a case of seeing if it gets hot now. Which it is, but with a feel of things. Yeah. It's working fine. Stick an old piece of bread in it and see if it really gets hot. It's definitely getting hot. I don't want to waste my slices of bread because I think I've only got a couple left, or I want them for my dinner. That's hot. The light's not on though. I'm going to have to sell it as requiring wiring anyway, because the wire looks a bit, not, you know, it's okay, but it's not brilliant. You know, I don't want to risk selling it as saying that, I could actually put a new wire in this. I don't know how much it's actually worth. Let me have a look. It's SG4. Yeah, it looks like it might be worth about £30. So what I might do, take this off and actually put a new wire on it, because it's just going to be a case of replacing it. Here, look. And I have a good wire here, although that hasn't got an earth on it, so that's no good. Oh, this one's got an earth. There you go. So I've got a brand new wire there with the plug fitted and the wiring, which I took off another electrical item, so that would be a much better fix. Make sure I put the wiring in the right thing. See what I should do. Sorry, my head's in the way here. There we go. Probably see it a little bit better. I shouldn't have tested it before I did this because it's red hot now. Okay. Just going to put thinking about it, I should have cut these wires down, shouldn't I? I'm going to have to cut them down because they're not going to. Let me go and get the scissors. Okay. That's the wiring cut down a little bit, so it's let's try it again. too short now, isn't it? Right, that looks good. And this time I can actually clamp the wire in properly. So you've got a little bulb here that's probably blown, unfortunately, and that's what lights up this LED. Well, not really an LED, but I haven't got a spare bulb, so that's not going to happen. But moment of truth again, because it's red hot already, because it has cooled down, so I can do it again, see if it gets hot. And see, the old wire really wasn't good. It's not split inside, but it's split on the outside. So what I'll do with that, I'll chop the wire off again, and I'll put the plug in my spares box. Discard this wire. Yeah, it's getting a lot hotter again now. Have a look at the chat. Yeah, I adjusted the. I know my hands are bright red, but I adjusted the contrast of the video because it looked a bit washed out on my test on YouTube. So that's why I adjusted the thing. It's made my hand look a bit red, but I think the picture of the items I'm taking looks a bit better. I've actually got a toasty maker that I use myself. I use it all the time. It's brilliant. Yeah, the fuse should be fine, Richard. There's a 10 amp one anyway. Well, it's definitely getting hot now. 600 watt. Made in Hong Kong. Well, I'm deeming that good. I have no idea if this has some sort of. I assume it will just burn the toasties until it's, cooked. They're just like hot plates. Probably quite a primitive system, I suppose. Just hope it doesn't burn. Doesn't flames don't start coming out of it live on the internet. But it would make quite a funny stream. Yeah, I think that's good. Just got to take some photos now. It's red hot now. That's what. Luckily, it's clean enough. I think it's a bit dusty. So I'm going to singe my my cloth. Oh, bloody hot. That'll do. And this is something I put on Etsy as well, I think, because it's a vintage item. This is Alcaf quality coffee from Aldi's. Actually, I don't think this is. This is actually Beanie's coffee because I've got some Jaffa cake flavour. It's absolutely fantastic. Jaffa cake flavour coffee. There's also a white chocolate and raspberry flavour as well. Right, we put this out the way to cool down a bit. Right, moving on to the next item then. To see if I can find something interesting from the death pile. Yeah, this is the coffee. Bean is Jaffa cake. And also white chocolate and raspberry. They're really nice. So I've got this. This is the sort of thing I don't usually bother selling, but might as well. This could be brand new, it could be second hand, I have no idea. It's not brand new. No, I don't know actually. It could be brand new. I think it is actually. You have to very carefully plug it in. Yeah, it's brand new. It smells new. It's got that new plasticky smell. Yeah, the light comes on. I've deemed that working because I don't want to actually, actually use it because I want to sell it as brand new. It's not going to be worth a great deal anyway. But it needs listing. It's a bit faded as well on the box. Yeah, so enough photos of that. Pretty basic thing, really. Put that in the storage. You can see the wide range of different things I sell. I can go from Reville toasty maker from the 60s or something to a modern DAB digital radio aerial. Oh, coffee cake. I've got what do you call it? Banoffee pie thing. Is it banoffee pie? No, carrot cake. That's it. Carrot cake. I like coffee cake as well. I love coffee flavoured ice cream as well. I like tea as well, but I prefer coffee. But I drink both. Yeah, I used to drink, you know, the lattes, the pods, for Nescafe pod machine. I tried to cut down on that now. I try to just have like normal instant coffee. But it's I do have those beanie ones though for like treats if you like. But I end up having them quite a bit. Yeah, I've tried proper coffee as well, you know, but it's a bit of a faff and it's quite strong for me really. I like cappuccino as well, Ali. And lattes, cappuccino, pretty much any coffee really. I'm gonna have. I love coffee. Right, next item. I'll just go and find it. Keeping with the heat theme, how about an iron? I suppose got to check that this doesn't leak and stuff like that. Best go and fill it with some water. Be back in a minute. Right. Oh, that's okay. Let's see if this gets hot then. So I don't usually sell this sort of stuff. This is why it ends up on the death pile. But I would have got this as part of an electrical shelf at the auctions. Certainly getting hot anyway. Light's gone off. Does that mean Ready? Hmm. I'm not convinced about this. I don't think that's getting hot anymore. I'll let it cool down again and see. Yeah, I've put water in it. It's not the first time I've plugged in an iron. But I don't understand why the light's gone off. So it's not even hot. I can touch it. There's something wrong with it. I'll turn it off, let it cool down, and then I'll see if the light comes back on. But I have a feeling it's burnt out or something. Stick it over here for now. It's probably not worth anything anyway. It's probably worth me having a look. I just think it's worth bothering messing about with. GC2652. Somebody got $14.99 for it. It's good enough for me. I'll give it another test. Here you go. Here's a nice vintage item. A Citizen 830R calculator. Nice vintage calculator. Oh, batteries are probably. Oh, looks like these are part of a battery pack. Rechargeable batteries. You're supposed to plug them in. But of course, as you can see here, they're very old and they've come off of the terminals there. So the terminals are there, but this might be one for another time. I'll have to get 4 AA batteries and then solder them together basically. But I wonder how much it's worth, because I don't want to bother doing that if it's not worth anything. This is an 830R. Somebody got £1.20 for an 820R, so that tells me it's not worth my time or effort. So I think what I'm going to do is just sell it as is, and basically say it needs new batteries. Let's try this iron again. The light's not coming on. There's something wrong with it. Yeah, I'm just going to sell this as spares repairs. Comes with the bag, which is nice. A bit of a clean. User manual and the item itself. Actually, it's going to look better like that, isn't it? I'm going to take a picture with the batteries in there. Maybe just take it as it comes. That's a shame though. But just goes to prove, just because something's vintage doesn't mean it's really worth anything. Let's go and stick this in the storage as well. Get out of the way. Let's have a look in the chat. Yeah, that's what I thought. What would happen to the iron? I thought the light would go off. That's what happens on my iron. You know, when I use, but it didn't take very long at all to go off. And it should come back on. Oh, it's on now. Right, yeah, I think this actually works. Let's see if it gets hot again. It's not getting hot though. Ah, there you go. It's because it's on the lowest setting. That's a bit better. Right, okay. I'm no expert on ironing, that's for sure. It's certainly not getting very hot. I'll give it a proper test later. I'll iron my clothes with it or something like that later on. But I'll take some photos now of it. But I'll give it a proper test another time. Got to be so careful with this stuff in the auctions though, because a lot of the time it just doesn't work. And I can't be bothered with the refunds, especially on this sort of thing, because it's going to be the lower value stuff. These instructions. Yeah, it's got instructions with it. There you go. I am the greatest iron seller, as well as the greatest clothing seller. Can't put it down on the floor either because it's going to burn a hole in my... You can see the steam coming out of it there. Can't put it back in the box. Right, I'm just going to put this out of the way so it's red hot. Well, it's not really that hot at all, but I'm going to stick it in the living room. Next item is this PS2 keyboard. That is pretty manky. Professional keyboard cleaning there. How many people we got still watching? 21 people watching, which is still pretty good. Ian Hill, what's that? Hi Derek, sometimes I only get hot when I move them around fabric. Ah, that could be what it is then. So it did say something about some sort of special safety feature or something on the box. So thanks for that. I'll check that out. I'm gonna iron a shirt or something with it later. Yeah, so I suppose it doesn't get hot because you don't want it, if it's just sitting on your ironing board upright, you don't want it being too hot then, I suppose. I suppose that's the idea behind it. I don't know how much this keyboard's worth, if anything, but I thought it's one of those genuine Microsoft multimedia keyboard. They are becoming a bit vintage now. This one was pretty horrible. I'm not going to spend too long cleaning it up. As you can see, it's just a case of making it look presentable. I'll just sell it as in used condition, because it's going to be fairly low value. Well, I thought so anyway. I'll have a look. Let's have a look, see how much this thing's worth. Microsoft Multimedia Keyboard 1.0A. Aha! £23. Well, there you go. It is worth something then. I remember picking it up at the boot sale. It actually looks pretty reasonable now. I've cleaned the keys. Some people even take the keys off, don't they? Clean the keyboards. I'm sure I've got a PS2 USB adapter somewhere. I saw one in my death piles because I need that to test this. Failing that, I've got an old vintage PC that I need to test. It's a list, so I might actually keep hold of this. I won't list this until I've tested that computer, because otherwise I'm not going to have a computer to test it with. So I might as well use up all the photos that eBay give you and this sort of thing. Let's check on the chat. Worked in a call centre years ago, decided to clean the keyboard. It was a hot desk in office. I was when everybody goes to different terminals. Worst thing I've seen: fingernails, pubic hair, food, most. Oh god, horrible. Yeah, I think it's clean enough. The George Foreman grill, a massive version of that toasty maker. This actually is a return. If you can see here, there's damage just here. That's because the guy said that it arrived damaged, so I got him to send it back, and it was indeed damaged. It was broken in transit, but it still works, and I glued it, and it's been sitting on my death pile since I glued it. I'm just wondering whether the glue has held up, whether I can sell it or not. Seems to be okay. Let's give it a because it was, I'm sure I got about £25 for it before, so it's got to be worth £15 with the glue. It doesn't really affect its use. It's got very dusty on my death pile since this got returned maybe 6 months ago, so at least the glue's definitely going to be dry. And this is the one where the plates come off as well, so you can put them in the dishwasher. So what I'll do to test it, I'll just see if these get hot, the elements get hot. You see the lights on. Yeah, it's getting hot. Yeah, it's still working. So I fully tested it before. I don't want it to get really hot again. In fact, I'm going to take a photo with it. It goes off anyway, won't I? So I'll pop it there. What time are we on? Yeah, I might make this the last item on the stream, and I'll check the chat before I leave. So drop comments what you thought about the stream, whether you want to see another one next week or not, and also whether I could improve it in any way. Let me know. think next time it might be worth me trying to sort out at least a bulk of items to list to begin with, rather than not having anything sorted. I don't know why this isn't slotting back in there. How does it go this way? How's it done that? It's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't know why that came out there. Bit of tray underneath it as well. Right. Oh, that's not good, is it? So that's broken there as well. I think this might be a spares and repairs job. Maybe sell these separately, because this I can glue them, but yeah, it's not good either. Right, I think I'm going to leave that. I could probably sell this as like a spare accessory, and maybe even the plates. So it was quite an expensive maker, and then just scrap the rest because I think there's too much damage on it, which is a shame because it was a nice maker. Maybe I'll fix it and keep it myself. I'll have to have a look at that. So let me have a quick look in the chat before I end the stream. Is he using the same cloth? Yeah, it's the same cloth for everything. I do give it a clean all the time. You know, it's always going under the tap, and probably every couple of weeks I replace the cloth. People clean it when they get it themselves. Yeah, I just clean stuff so it looks good. You know, looks good, and it's in a nice condition. You know, if people want to clean it, you know, if it was a food item, I might make a little bit more effort. Sometimes I wash things in the sink, you know, with fairy liquid and stuff, but these items I generally don't bother. And so Pete says, yeah, he likes the good to chat while working. Yeah. Haggis Lover living it, Derek, makes me do more work. That's good. That's basically why I'm doing it as well. You know, it makes me get some things done. And I'll be doing it anyway. You know, even if I wasn't live, it'll basically be identical. I just wouldn't be talking about the items. Yes, keep doing them. Thanks. Like this camera setup better than less CCTV-ish. Yeah, last week it was difficult angle. Basically, what I've got my webcam set up, but I managed to find my long USB extension cable, so now I'm able to put the webcam basically anywhere I want in the office now. This is probably a 10-meter extension cable, so it's, you know, it goes everywhere. So yeah, I'll definitely do one next week then if it's well received. I mean, I could do them sort of more often, but I don't want to have too many going on all the time, you know what I mean? So I think I'll keep it to like a weekly thing maybe. Yeah, bring snacks actually, yeah. Yeah, I was going to mention about Chris's listing tomorrow, Leanne. I'm not sure whether I'm going to join it but I'll definitely be watching it. I might join it if I can for a bit. I'm assuming he's having guests on. I don't know, maybe he's not, I don't know, but yeah, definitely. I think it was around midday, wasn't it, for Chris's chat tomorrow? I know it's in the Many Mental site. Let me just have a quick look, so I get it right. Oh, it's Thursday from 9 a.m. So yeah, I'll probably definitely pop on then. The reason I wasn't going to is because I probably going to pick up my kids around midday, so I might not be able to come on then. But if it was in the morning, I probably will. Yeah. Z Tommy stream was epic. Yeah, I've started to watch that, but I got about 20 minutes in, and then I think somebody else went live, so I had to move over to their live. It's so hard to catch up. I'm still watching the live with, is it Golden Finger Picker? He was on Tommy and Tracy's. I'm still sort of 3/4 of the way through that one. Yeah, Z's on Mel's channel at 11:30. Is that tonight? And also Peter Ray will be live, won't he? At is it 8:30, Pete? Is it 8 or 8:30 that you go live? Let me see, just in case. Peter, 8:30. Yeah, there you go. So Peter Ray's live at 8:30. Not sure who's on between now and then, but I'll definitely be in Peter's chat. Oh yeah, we've got the masked reseller as well, haven't we? On Carla Jenkins' channel. I forgot about that one. That's just before. That's basically an hour before Peter's channel, isn't it? Or is it an hour or half an hour? And Nick's live at 10 o'clock with Tim. Well, over the years, so many live streams, eh? Yeah, so I'm sure I see everybody in the chat, and I'll probably be on that listing live tomorrow. It sounds quite interesting. Not sure how productive it's going to be. I mean, I thought about doing a listing live, but I decided against it. I thought I'd try the photography instead. But yeah, so I'm going to call that it, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for contributing to the chat. It's been a good one, and I'll see you on my channel again. It'll be Tuesday for the Tuesday Tap Talk. Hopefully get some guests on again then, and I'll do this again next week as well. Be around sort of midday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, that sort of time on a Wednesday. Seems to be a good enough time for it. And yeah, I'll probably see you on some other channel at some point. And see you all later. So bye for now.